Oh my god, Faye. Please, not now. We're at the middle of... Bro, it's halfway through quarter 4. The Knicks somehow managed to surmount a lead over the Spurs. It's been crazy, dog. Like, this game has been a roller coaster of a game. And we do have a trailer, so we got to run it. But, my God, I'm pulling for the Knicks in this one. Hopefully they can get the job done. Brunson has been a hero so far. He started off a little shaky, but towards game time, when it's time to play, he has been putting in those minutes, and he's been giving them the work. So, all right, with that out of the way, let's head over to YouTube. Let's take a look at this Faye trailer. Now, if all goes according to plan, this should just be the Harmonic Brave 3 banner alongside Chosen Laegjarn. And that is exactly what it is. So, starting us off here with Harmonic Alm as well as Elliewood. Pretty cool concept, honestly, like these two together. They don't really have that much in common, but both of them are main characters that I respect. So, it's nice to see them together. So, Alm is going to be a sword infantry type, as he was when he was originally a brave hero. All right, stat line. Oh, actually caught me off guard there. 42 HP, 71 attack, 54 speed, 49 defense, and 20 res. And he's got bonuses to attack, speed, and res there, so take those with a grain of salt. By the way, did you see that new C skill? Yet again, another pulse C skill by the looks of it. It's like they forgot all the other skill families exist. It's just, for these infantry units, it's either a pulse C skill or it's a tempest C skill. That's it. Like, that's all they got. So, Ice Falchion, 16 might, 1 range, effective against Dragon, -1 special trigger. If a rally or movement assist is used by unit, grants another action to unit once per turn, and if another effect that grants action to unit has been activated at the same time, this effect is also considered to have been triggered. And then if a rally or movement assist skill is used by unit or targets unit, inflicts attack, speed, and defense -7. Sabotage and Discord on the closest foes to both unit and target ally or unit and targeting ally after movement and foes within 2 spaces of those foes through the next actions. Okay. Then he also gets all stats of 15. We get neutralized foe bonuses. Unit deals plus 25 damage, excluding on AoEs, and reduce damage from foes' attacks by 15. Reduce damage from foes' special by another 15. And also, if decreasing the speed difference necessary to make a follow-up by 10, allows unit to do a follow-up. Then you get Potent 100. All right, he's got Reposition Gate. He's got Shatter Slash, both of which are very good. All right, then we have Blessed Bow. I love how it's called Blessed Bow and the image is a sword. All right, sure. At the start of player phase or enemy phase, grants Creation Pulse, Attack Liberate, and Speed Liberate to unit and allies in 2 spaces for 1 turn. Pretty good. Then also grants all stats of 9. Unit deals plus 7 damage. Reduce damage from foes' attacks by 7. And neutralize effects that grant special cooldown charge plus X to foe or inflict guard on unit. So it's basically got tempo. And then unit can use the following style. Blessed Bow style. Okay. Is that the first time we've seen a style on a passive? Because normally when they give these units these styles, they're either part of the weapon or part of the special. I think this is the first time we've ever seen a style on a passive. Now, it's not an inheritable passive, mind you, but that could be food for thought for the future. Maybe in the future we'll get inheritable passives that have styles equipped on them. Wouldn't that be something? All right, then he's got attack and speed favor, and then he has null pulse follow. So, grants bonus to units attack and speed equal to units max special cooldown count value plus 2. Unit deals plus 5 damage. Reduce damage from foes' first attack by 5. First attack and brave attack. And then grant special cooldown count -2 to unit before unit's first follow-up attack. And also, if unit speed is better than the foe's speed, then you get null follow-up. Actually, not too bad. That's an interesting C skill. Is this better than Instruct? Probably no. Let's see here. Grants bonus to attack and speed equal to max special cooldown count value plus 2. So, supposing he has a 5-hit cooldown special that's going to drop to 4 because he has -1. So, that would be plus 8. Or no, not +8, +6 to both attack and speed, which, I mean, you're getting +9 to all stats, and you're giving allies great talent when you have Instruct. So it's doing a lot more, but you're getting more effects here. You're getting cooldown pulsing, and you're getting null follow-up, which I guess null follow-up now, we can start looking at that as a positive as opposed to a negative on these effects, because a lot of units now are just not coming with built-in null follow-up, and null follow-up support is starting to get a little bit more rare. So having it on the C skill with the pulsing, I think, is actually pretty good. Now, I'm pretty sure this passive is just going to be infantry only. And that was a very complex attack animation, by the way, that we just saw there. Why couldn't Roy with the Sword of Seals get that? They gave Roy such a basic animation. Here we have Alm with, like, full motion movement. Crazy. All right, do we really need to see this? I want to get back to the game, if that's even possible, so we're just going to skip to the style here. All right, Blessed Bow style. Unit can attack foes within 5 spaces of unit and 3 rows of 3 columns centered on unit, regardless of unit's range. Here I was expecting this to be, like, 2 range style. This is 5 range style. He has to use it from a standstill, though. It's similar to the one that Sombron had. All right, then unit suffers a counterattack if any of the following conditions are met. Foe is armored. Foe can counterattack regardless of unit's range, or foe's range is the same as the distance between unit and foe. And unit cannot move or attack structures. After combat, movement effects don't occur. Unit's AoE specials can't be triggered. And remaining movement granted from Kanto is treated as 0. Skill effect range is treated as 1. And this style is only usable once per turn. It's a little better. I mean, Sombron's doesn't do any damage. It negates combat damage, but then he does the 20 chip afterwards. So, like, this one, you actually get to enter combat and you get to fight, which is nice, but it doesn't really have any added effects outside of that. It's still pretty interesting, though, to have a melee unit like Alm just being able to hit from 5 spaces away as if he had a Lin Ring equipped. So, yeah, I mean, for stuff like Aether Raid's offense, obviously that's going to come into play. And it's going to be pretty effective in there. All right, so next up we have Micaiah and Camilla there. All right, kind of a motley crew. I don't think these two have much in common, but I guess they are both big sisters, right? Like, Micaiah treats Soth like a big sister, and Camilla treats everyone like she's their big sister. So I guess maybe it fits. All right, Micaiah is going to be a green tome flyer once again. Can they come up with a different color for her, please? Like, why is it always got to be a green tome flyer? So, 39 HP, 70 attack, 34 speed, 25 defense, 55 res, and she has bonuses to attack, defense, and res there. So, take those with a grain of salt. Oh, I saw a lot going on with her passives there. I saw a new special and everything. So, Dawning Light, 14 might, 2 range, effective against cavalry and armor, -1 special trigger. Unit can move through foes' spaces, and unit can move to a space in 2 spaces of an ally in 2 spaces. Okay, here we go. She has pass. I guess that's part of Camilla, right? Camilla gave Micaiah the ability to pass. All right, then also at the start of player phase or enemy phase, grants potent follow to unit and allies in 2 spaces for 1 turn. After start of turn effects trigger on the player phase, and after start of turn effects trigger on the enemy phase, except in SD. For unit and allies in 2 spaces, a unit converts penalties on that unit or ally into bonuses, neutralize 2 penalty effects, and doesn't apply to penalty effects applied at the same time, and neutralizes the first applicable penalty effects on the active list of bonuses. Man, they could have made this 3 spaces, and they could have made it 3 penalties. That would have been a little saucier. But it's stock standard. It's the same one as the attuned Micaiah. All right, then we also grant all stats of 15. Unit deals plus 25 damage and reduce damage from foes' attacks by 15. And foe cannot make a follow-up. Oh, dude, we would totally take the 15 special DR over the Wary Fighter on that one. All right, she has Maiden Solace again. Ice Edge, brand new special. 5-hit cooldown when special triggers. Boost damage by unit's res. Reduce damage from foes' first attack by 40% during combat, including their brave attack. And if unit has weapon triangle advantage, or if the unit and foe are colorless, then grants all stats of 5 to unit during combat. Oh, that's interesting. If you have weapon triangle advantage, or if the enemy is colorless, you get all stats of 5. I feel like we've seen better. Like the armored specials, like Armored Ice Cap and Armored Flare, they give you great talent, which is better. And then Shatter Slash and Waning Shot, they do stat drops on the enemy, which can pile up to most likely be better than all stats of 5, but I guess it's okay. It's not twice per combat either with the DR, is it? Reduce damage from foe's first attack by 40% during combat. Oh, it's just... it's unconditional. It's just straight up their first attack and their second attack, their brave attack if they have one. All right, then we have attack and res airspace. We've already had airspace passives before, so I don't think I'm going to read this one. All right, Yune's chirps. I like the icon there. A little birdie. Disables foes' skills that calculate damage using the lower of foes' defense or res at the start of turn and after unit acts. If Kanto triggers, then after Kanto. If any foes have the highest attack speed, defense, or res on the enemy team, inflicts feud and sabotage on those foes and inflicts -7 on the corresponding stat of those foes and foes in 2 spaces of those foes through the next actions. Oh, dude, feud is raw. Man, wow, that's actually really good. So she does feud, and then she does the same thing as Yune, where she does the chain stat drops to the enemy with the highest stat, and then sabotage for good measure. But that's just extra. The feud is nuts. All right, then also inflicts attack speed and res -5 on the foe, inflicts penalty on foe's speed and res equal to the highest total penalties among target and foes in 2 spaces, reduce damage from foes' attacks by 20% of units' res, and reduce the percentage of foe's non-special DR by half during combat. And if unit's HP is over 1, and foe would reduce unit's HP to 0, then you survive with 1 HP. And we have attack and res Crux Ploy. Yeah, very interesting. I was not expecting Micaiah to have feud, honestly. That's not really been a traditional effect of Micaiah, or Camilla for that matter, so I don't know where they're getting that from. But we are very glad that they have it. All right, so Micaiah versus Burger King. This is very non-canon. Obviously, Black Knight is like Micaiah's #1 fan. So this would never happen. All right, attack animation was all right. Not as good as Alm, who we just saw, who was like damn near doing full-on yoga poses before attacking. All right, then harmonic button should be the same as all of the other Brave harmonics. Should just be the harmonic dance. Yeah, grants Resonant Blades to unit and allies from the same title, and then grants another action to a certain target, and if Kanto has already been triggered, re-enables Kanto. And yeah, it looks like the exact same as all the other harmonic Brave units. So, yeah, by the way, I think Alm probably had that as well. That's probably the same button that Alm has. So, yeah, we may have skipped it, but we did see the style, so that's really all that matters with him. Yeah, we don't need to see another round of combat. We already saw her animations. So let's move on to Laegjarn now. Chosen Laegjarn. A.K.A. Chosen Batty Bay. All right, wow, that is some fire art. Flame Miracle. No pun intended, man. That art is really good. So she's going to be an Axe Flyer type. And by the looks of it, that looks like Sin Mara that she has there. So is she going to have some kind of like 20 chip damage at the start of combat or at the start of turn or whatever it is? Let's see what they do here. Also, she's a Fire Season Chosen Hero. Oh, she just broke all the ice. Wow, bro, that is good. Get the hell out of here with all that ice. That is going to be good in Aether Raids. It's going to be good in Arena as well, where ice is super annoying. Okay, so Chosen Axe, 16 might, 1 range, -1 special trigger, neutralize effective against flying. At start of turn, grants +1 movement to unit. And after start of turn skills trigger, if stall is active on unit, neutralizes, unit can move 1 extra space, effect of this skill. Okay, so she has the same thing as the legendary Yuri, where she has anti-stall. Not really sure why that's necessary, but okay. At start of player phase or enemy phase, grants speed and defense up 6, true charge, truly incited, and null panic to unit and allies in 2 spaces for 1 turn. The true charge is nice. Truly incited is actually also pretty nice. And then if unit or allies in 2 spaces a unit have bonuses to attack, defense, speed, or res after start of turn skills trigger, or if defending an Aether Raids after start of turn skills trigger at the start of turn 1 of enemy phase, grants an additional +3 to each corresponding stat for unit and those allies for 1 turn. Wow. I was not expecting her to have that. That's like the Ector effect, where they take your highest blue bonus and just buffs it even further. Alright, then also grants all stats of 15, unit deals +25 damage, reduce damage from foes' attacks by 15, and reduce damage from foes' special by another 15, and reduce the percentage of foes' non-special DR by half. Okay. Alright, then we also have Arc Rival. Hopefully she has Heavenly Soar or something better. Alright, we got Blue Sky Gust again. Blue Sky Wyvern. Okay, that's not Heavenly Soar. Inflicts attack, speed, and defense -4 on the foe. Foe can't make a follow-up. Unit deals damage equal to 20% of the greater of speed or defense. And reduce damage from foes' attacks by 20% of the greater of unit's speed or defense during combat. And also, if decreasing the speed difference necessary to make a follow-up by 25 would allow unit to trigger a follow-up. Triggers potent follow X% during combat, and if unit cannot perform a follow-up and attack twice, or if unit's speed plus defense is greater than the foe's speed plus defense -10, excluding effects from Phantom, then X is 100, otherwise X is 50. That is a whole mouthful. Just to say, get potent 100, man. Like, come on. What are we doing here? Make me rack my brain on all that just to say potent 100. Okay, if unit's speed plus defense is better than the foe's speed plus defense -10, excluding effects from Phantom, then increases the speed difference necessary for the foe to make a follow-up by 20. Oh, damn. She has that, too. That's from Diamant. He has that. Inheritable passive, too. That's very interesting. You can give that to somebody else. Now, what flyer is going to want this over going for, like, Heavenly Soar right now, right? I mean, being able to warp and pass is just everything. But on something slow and bulky, or just, like, something bulky in general, something maybe with a lot of speed and defense like Laegjarn probably has, the +20 to the speed difference is insane. All right, and then finally she has Resolving Flame. So at the start of turn, or after start of turn skills trigger, destroys enemy armies' Divine Vein ice, such as Ice or Icicle, applied on spaces in 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit. That is a massive deal, man. That's so huge. I just recently put up an offense run of an Aether Raids offense fight where I got bopped by the Ninja Harid, setting up ice in my way. Like, right on top of my units, as opposed to on top of the enemy units. So, ice can be really detrimental if you don't have a good way to get rid of it, and this looks like probably the easiest way to get rid of it. Just start a turn, bam, it's done. Okay, then also for unit and allies in 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, grants all stats up X, where X is the highest bonus on each stat among allies on the map, including unit, and calculates each stat independently, and grants a special cooldown charge bonus +1 per attack during combat. Allies in 3 rows of 3 columns centered on unit deal +10 damage during combat. Oh, she also has that too. Very interesting. And then unit deals +Y damage. Reduce damage from foes' attacks by 50% of Y. Excluding AoEs, Y is the highest total bonuses among unit and foe. And allies in 3 rows of 3 columns centered on unit. And then neutralize effects that guarantee foes follow-ups and prevent units follow-ups, and recover 7 HP after combat. Damn, there's a lot to take in with this unit. So she gets rid of ice. She has some pretty good drive buffs for 3 rows and 3 columns. Essentially, all stats up 10 if you're getting a blue bonus of +7. And then she gives the exposure drive as well, which is good. Yeah, she seems pretty good. Definitely a worthy unit for sure. All right, let's see this attack animation here. All right, come on. You better have a better animation than Corrin just had. All right, that was... Oh, my gosh. So Corrin had a better animation there. It's kind of sad to see, with her arm turning into a dragon that fires a Kamehameha wave. Okay, so we have here 40 HP, 64 attack, 58 speed, 56 defense, and 16 res. Obviously, there's bonuses to speed and defense there. Can't really say what those bonuses are, but she does, in fact, have bonuses. All right, then I think they're just going to explain how the Chosen Blessing works at this point, so we can probably just skip this part. Let's head to the final map, though. Sometimes they show off the GHB, but I don't think we're getting a GHB. Oh, wait, hold on. Who is that? Jormungandr. I guess this is a new incoming OC. People are going to hate this character. Oh, my God. Yeah, so get ready for her to win CYL 11. Basically. Alright, yeah. Jormungandr. I believe Jormungandr is the World Serpent or the Giant Snake or whatever it is. She's going to be a colorless beast, whatever that turns out to be. And yeah, she is the World Serpent or the Snake or whatever it is. Very interesting. Yeah, so before we get out of here, let's just quickly head over to... Well, 2 things. First of all, let's head over to Google and let me refresh the score for this game. All right, thank God the Knicks were able to pull out the dub. Yeah, so they beat them by 10. Would have been really nice to get to watch the end of that game, but it looks like San Antonio didn't manage to do much else from when I stopped watching. They had like 90 points when I cut it off. So, yeah, the Knicks were able to just come from behind and take them out. And way to go, guys. All right, now let's head over to Twitter. Normally what I do here is I just turn the display off while I'm surfing Twitter, just before like something really bad pops up, which has actually happened before. Yeah, I don't need any of the Twitter psychos to be causing this video to go down. Okay, so these are going to be the inheritances for the incoming passives. Null Pulse Follow is infantry only, as I thought. Ice Edge is going to be for flyer and cavalry only. And no staves either. Wow, that's... Why not staves? I mean, they typically have good res. Would have been nice if they could get it. All right, and then attack res airspace. Obviously flyer only, but we've already had airspace passives. And then Blue Sky Wyvern is for flying melee only, and that does not include dragons and beasts. So pretty much just your flying sword, lances, and axes is basically it. It seems like an interesting passive, honestly, but there's a lot to dissect with it. And it's only going to be good on select certain units, too. So not going to be as all-around useful as something like Heavenly Soar or Air Superiority. But it does definitely seem like a good mix to the flying repertoire of passives. So, yeah, that's going to wrap us up for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Is this banner worth your while to summon on? You know, honestly, I got to think about it for Micaiah personally, because I don't have the Tea Time Veronica. And right now, that would be the #1 unit to inflict feud on the enemies. I don't have her, so Micaiah being able to inflict feud at the start of turn without even having to use an assist is actually pretty raw. So that's definitely something that's going to come in handy. But as far as like the actual unit usability from Alm and Micaiah, as units, they don't really seem to be breaking the mold all that much. It's like more of the same pretty much. Doesn't seem like anything that you need to go out of your way to try to get. Laegjarn seems to be breaking the mold a little bit more, though. She is more of a quote-unquote icebreaker, so to speak. So, yeah, this is your boy Tacho signing out. And actually, are the data mines tonight? They might be. I think the data mines are tonight, right? Because we are going to get the refines tonight. So, yeah, we will be back in a little bit, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the data mines. So, stay tuned for all that, and have a good one, guys.